I want you to take us back to the day that you almost lost your life. And then, leading up to that moment, you felt them shells.
Utilize caution.
So I'll start from the time I moved in the apartment, because that's where it really started.
So you don't think if you got a ex-boyfriend that's still coming around and he see another dude that he wouldn't snap?
I was living there for what, 2 months, 3 months? Okay, so December. So right before Christmas, got a new apartment, right up the road, Lithonia, and we started having problems, and then...
So when you say we, who is we?
Me and an ex-boyfriend. He had decided that he didn't want to be in a relationship no more, so it was like, he said that he wanted out of the relationship. I said okay, but then again, he didn't want to leave the apartment. And I had a car, I had an apartment. He wasn't nowhere on the apartment, like as far as like name wise. And then he got to where he took off with my car one night and the engine had basically blown out. So taking me and my baby back and forth to school and work, Uber and Lyft, probably spent $500, in rides. Okay, so a week before Valentine's, he had told me that, he was coming to get his stuff. I thought I would be smart and put all of his stuff out on the porch, because he was scaring my baby. I had a 4-year-old baby that I had taken care of, in the house and everything else. Baby had gotten to where he was scared to death. He was running underneath the bed hiding. So whenever he told me he was coming to get the stuff, I thought it was smart. I put his stuff out on the porch. He called DeKalb County on me. DeKalb County came out, talked to me. I told him the same exact thing, didn't want to let him in because he had scared my baby. I was scared for my life. And she had told me that I had to let him in because he had established residence. All because his stuff was in my apartment. I didn't know that. I thought, because he wasn't on the lease, he had no paper trails on him paying the rent, nothing like that. They've never really seen him even pay the rent, because I was always the one taking, the money or whatever, money orders up to the office. And so I had to let him in whenever he wanted to come in. Valentine's Eve, basically, I had invited a friend over. We were hanging out, whatever. He didn't have a vehicle, so I told him that he could stay the night. The ex come up, 11, 12 o'clock at night, banging on the door to where he almost woke up my son. I let him in. The man had not been sleeping in my bed at all a whole entire month, 4 weeks. So I let him in, went back to my room, locked the door, went back to sleep. Got up the next morning, 5:30 in the morning, to go to work. Me and the friend had left out, so we thought. He let the ex-boyfriend had ran after us, let my dog out. My friend was already in the car with my son and my other female best friend. And so I had walked back upstairs to put my dog back in the apartment. Then as I'm walking down the stairs, he pistol whipped me on my left ear. Had about 3 or 4 stitches in that left ear. So my male best friend had gotten out of the car, come towards me to, break up the fight, basically. We did not know he had a gun at all. So then, like I said, my best friend, male, had came running. That is whenever we found out that he had the gun. My best friend ran away. As he was running away, he got shot in the back 5 times.
County police say 23-year-old Paul Wilson was shot and killed Valentine's Day morning on Embarcadero Drive. A woman was also shot and is recovering. Family members say this all happened in front of the woman's 4-year-old child.
He's living?
He passed away. He passed away right there on the scene. And then a few seconds after he had gotten shot, I had enough time to see my best friend fall over step railings, and then I felt a sting at my left pelvis. Looked down, and that's whenever I found out that I was shot.
That's just one of the things a neighbor says he heard early this morning at Windward Forest Apartments. The other thing?
I hear screaming outside, so I go out there, I'm like, oh shoot, I see somebody shot. I see somebody on the ground. And so I go further, and then I see blood everywhere. I'm like, oh shoot, this is not good.
I fell, somehow I ended up from the sidewalk all the way in the middle of the parking lot of my apartment complex. And whenever I hit the ground, I remember a car trying to pull out. They had rolled down their window, asked me if I was okay. I told them no, I had been shot. I needed 911. About this time, my apartment manager comes out, and all I hear is her telling people, oh my gosh, I knew this was going to happen. She had just told me a week ago, and I don't really remember anything in between then and ambulance, but all I remember is rocking side to side, trying to keep myself, safe. Thankfully I didn't pass out, but I think I might have been loopy, of course. Got in the ambulance. I had on some steel-toed boots. That was the only thing I wanted off. The only thing I wanted off my body. I'm 125 pounds soaking wet, so those bullets and steel-toed boots were weighing me down. I just felt like a rock was on my whole entire body.
He shot you once?
He shot me 5 times.
You only felt one shot?
Only felt one shot, and it was a bee sting. It felt just like a bee sting. And that was it, you know what I'm saying? That's what made me look down, and I just had blood gushing out the side of my pelvis, the left side. I woke up. I was in Grady Hospital. I woke up with my leg cut open that much. I mean, it was pretty thick. It was that, about that much and about that deep. They had to drain out the lead from the bullet in the pelvis because they weren't able to get that bullet out. So it is actually stuck right there in my leg. Will have it for the rest of my life. With that, I had 4 surgeries within 1 week. 4 surgeries in 7 days. I still got the bullet in my leg. It's not gonna be taken out. They said that if they were to take it out, I would bleed to death because it is around so much fatty tissue. There's just no way. So every time I go through a metal detector, you know, it's gonna go off. Like, I have a card and everything stating, hey, this girl's got metal in her leg. There's nothing that you or me can do about it. As I was saying, you know, my 4-year-old son was there, eyewitness, right there. So I had to give him to my mom, so I can recover. Thankfully, my older sister lives in Stockbridge. Her and her kids, my nieces and nephew, took care of me for the next 3 months after that. I came home after 7 days of being shot. I came home on a walker, on a straight walker. I could not walk at all. Within about a month after being out of the hospital, I went to crutches. And then about 2 weeks after the crutches, I let one go. After about 3 months, I thankfully was walking. I had a limp, but I was walking. This is hell.
That dude, he doing life?
He is doing life. He's got malice murder, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the 1st degree, and he's got 2 other charges as well. He's looking at life without the possibility of parole or even death penalty. Because the malice murder carries that sentence.
When you was with that dude, did he seem like somebody that would hurt you in that type of way before he hurt you?
No, he didn't up until we got the apartment. That was whenever the abuse had started. He started putting his hands on, he put his hands on me one time before we had left. And I thought maybe he was just having, you know, a bad day or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he was just taking it out on me. I knew he carried a gun, but I didn't think he was going to take it out on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought he would have turned the gun on me or anything else, because we'd been together for 5 years before all of that. So, you know, you don't ever know what anybody's thinking. Like, literally, you don't know.
So you don't think if you got a ex-boyfriend that's still coming around and he see another dude that he wouldn't snap?
Now, most guys probably would if they have feelings for the female. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they have real feelings for the female. But it's like, why would you have feelings if y'all broke up? You know what I'm saying? Why would you still be coming around, you know, if you got feelings? Because if I got feelings for a man, you know, I wouldn't want to see him, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would just, you know, stay to myself, stay away from him, I guess. You know what I'm saying? To where I wouldn't see anything jealous type. But see, he was one of those people that if I couldn't have you, then no one else can type. And now that I look back at it, you know, the beginning of our relationship, he did tell me that if I ever left him, he was going to kill me.
I'm trying to figure out, why would you let somebody in the crib when somebody's in the crib?
Because DeKalb County made it clear that I had to let him in.
No.
I had to let him in, or else I wouldn't have let him in. You know what I'm saying? And I'd asked my best friend that night, I said, do you want to leave? You know what I'm saying? I asked him, I said, do you want to leave? Because, you know, I said, you know, I don't know what kind of shit he's on, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he obviously has all rights to be here just because the stuff's here. You know what I'm saying? You, on the other hand, you can leave at any time. And he was like, nah, you know, I think we'll be all right. Because it was already like 12 o'clock, you know. And like I said, he didn't have a car, so he would have had to gotten him a ride. I would have gotten him a ride out. You know.
The kid that he killed, where's he from? He from Latonia?
He was from Ellenwood. He was 23 years old. He was a baby. He was a baby. He didn't even get to start his life. You know, he didn't get to start his life at all. He didn't have no kids. He didn't have a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and him were actually best fucking friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone that I could hang out with, you know, and be safe with, but do what I wanted to do or do what I needed to do type shit. You know what I'm saying? And not get embarrassed by it. You know, so... And it's sad because, like, I didn't know Paul but maybe 2 or 3 months before he had gotten shot. And I felt like he had trusted me enough to put his life in my hands. And I let him down.
If there's anything you could tell women that might, you know, some signs or something like that, who might be with somebody carrying a gun or just possessive, what would you tell them?
Don't take anything that they say a joke. Take everything that they say serious, because whether they're joking or not, they could always turn that joke into being serious. And if they've got a gun, obviously, you know, they would use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would use it some point somewhere. And if you don't think that they'll do it, please think twice, because, you know what I'm saying, like, anybody that's got a gun, I'm not saying it's crazy, but they've thought about it. I didn't know it, but like 6 months before we had gotten together, he still has an open case with his ex-baby mama, to where he had shot her in the foot. After the fact, I should have seen them, you know, while they were going on. So, ladies, open your eyes, pay attention, and the first sign you see, get the fuck away from him.